We interrupt this program for an ABC 3340 storm alert from the Weather Authority.
All right, good morning to everybody out there. We are simply hopping in here to give you an update on the afternoon ahead. Had a lot of questions, so we thought we'd just come on, give a quick summary synopsis of what's happening now. We've made it through the overnight threat, fairly unscathed, but here's what we are looking at and what we've talked about as the main event heading into the afternoon. Already seeing signs of things popping off to our west. We have a PDS tornado watch, the southern half of Mississippi, a confirmed tornado over near Sunflower, Mississippi, another one up towards Oxford, and then south of Jackson here along I-55. So things getting going to the west of us here. We are still in our lull at this time, but we will keep an eye. Eventually, they're probably going to extend this watch further to the east. They haven't yet, which says our threat is not immediate or imminent here over the next short term. A couple hours, that'll be a different story. This is a look at our composite radar, and you can see where those polygons are at pretty much all along this line. But what we haven't seen yet are discrete supercells developing out ahead of this line. And that's one of the things we've been watching and saying, okay, if we get those, that's going to be our highest potential of those longer track or those dangerous tornadoes. So more on that in just a second here. So a couple of those warnings here, one up towards Oxford, another one confirmed. That's that pink polygon there that we know a tornado has touched down south of Vicksburg. And this is for the most part a line, but we've already seen evidence that within this line we can certainly get rotation. This is headed off to the north of Chula, Mississippi. Eventually around noon is going to be right near Winona and other parts of I-55 there between Winona and Grenada. All of this, though, is still several hours out. Even this one near Water Valley, moving up towards Oxford, this is going to continue to move off to the north, and this will not enter central Alabama. The movement of this line is such that this will miss us here. But this is a good ways away from the radar site, but we have been seeing some rotation within some of these individual or this broken line, and that'll be a trend that we watch as we get closer to Alabama. But again, a little reset here, taking it back out. We have some very light rain stretching from Florence down to Berry in Fayette County. Outside of that, this is still well to the west, so we still have time, prepare. Talked to a lot of people on social media this morning. They're going to their safe place, and that's great. And if you go to your safe place and you don't have any major impacts, that's great too. That means you took the right precautions and you don't have to worry about the what if afterwards. So we're in now a fluid situation where we have to watch this. Western parts of Alabama until 9 p.m., 2 to 11 for much of central Alabama, including the Birmingham Metro, south of Pelham, Alabaster, and Clanton. And then a little bit later in the afternoon, if you're in Cherokee, Etowah, Calhoun, Cleburne, Clay, Chambers, Randolph, Coosa, Tallapoosa counties, that'll be all the way up until about 1 o'clock. And we've mentioned the potential for all modes of severe weather. Those discrete supercells, should they form, will be our highest tornado threat. And those would be the more stronger tornadoes, I believe, and the longer track ones, again, if they form. Have not seen those just yet. Still have a couple hours before that moves into the most favorable part here of central Alabama. So be on our guard through the day today. Don't show any of this stuff to scare you. Believe me, I did not like seeing this. I didn't like seeing a severe weather crawl as a kid. Absolutely not. All we want is to get you updated, prepared, and ready to go. So let's grab the HER, and understand this is not the answer key. This will not depict exactly where storms will be. But I've grabbed this high-resolution model. Let's move this ahead to 2 o'clock. So this is what a lot of the models have been showing. If this comes to fruition, these are the ones we need to initially watch. Batch number 1 for rotation, potentially, and of course some hail cores with this as well. So this showing at about 2 o'clock, again, west of I-65, some of these individual supercells showing up. By 3 o'clock, essentially following I-65 from Calera up to the Coleman area, not all of these would probably produce tornadoes, but everyone would have that potential. So being aware as this gets closer is going to be important. I want to note, there might be some even further back to the west at this point. Let's move ahead to now 4 o'clock. Some of those clusters now shifting to East Alabama, and our second threat, which is going to be this line, moves into West Alabama. And along this line, there will be for strong wind gusts, probably the highest threat of straight line winds of the day. Also, hail cores with this, and some embedded tornadoes as we've seen back in Mississippi. So this is kind of an all-afternoon thing. We get to about 7 o'clock, and that broken line stretching from Coleman to Birmingham, an additional line from Vernon all the way down to Aliceville and Demopolis. By about 9 o'clock, the westernmost counties in Alabama are clear. This line will be moving through. This will be the final threat, the final window here. By 10 o'clock, that's essentially parallel to I-65 just to the east. If you're north of Jefferson County, St. Clair County, and this should all be pushing out of here by around midnight or so. We'll pan this the camera over here at midnight, showing from center down to Alexander City. So again, we're going to get through this together. The next several hours could get bumpy at times, could get loud. Lots of lightning already with these. But our threats today, there's a high threat of tornadoes. We don't say that very often, and you know what? You may not get one at your house. Your friend may not, but for the one person that does, it's a big deal, and that's why we're framing it this way. Large hail is always possible. We saw evidence of that earlier this morning. Gusty winds, of course, not a huge flood concern, but we will be keeping an eye on that. So I'll leave you with this. Get the warnings. Know the safe place. Helmets for everyone. We've done a lot of social studies on this, and people who take action and people who prepare, they end up just fine. We can replace things, cars, mobile homes, if the situation calls for that, just not you. So take action, get in your safe place, and we're going to follow this all day. Like I said, we'll get through this together. This is just a quick update. We'll pop on as needed. We'll have updates on social media throughout the day. Hope everyone has a wonderful Saturday afternoon. We'll see you later.